My name is Jake Morphonios, and I am the National Director of the Citizens for Constitutional Freedom Activist Network. But for the last 16 years, I've also been an investigative journalist. My work has primarily been related to clandestine operations in Western Europe and the Middle East by the CIA and other intelligence networks. I am loyal to the principles of the U.S. Constitution and consider myself a friend to those in the Patriot movement, including the Bundy and Finicum families. It is out of a sense of duty to those families, as well as to all of you who care about the Constitution and are alarmed at the overreach of the federal government, that I have made this video. What you are about to hear is going to shock and appall you. I've spent the last 2 weeks compiling the information I'm about to present. After you've watched this video and have had time to verify the accuracy of the results of my investigation, I want to ask you to take immediate action to ensure that you help protect our Patriot community by severing all ties with a group that has been deeply infiltrated into our group and is both gathering intelligence on us for the FBI and is actively trying to fracture our movement by creating distrust, suspicion, and infighting within our ranks. I believe that the available evidence demonstrates that an international criminal syndicate consisting of pedophiles and con artists is being used by powerful government agencies to wage a psychological operation of division from within against our groups. These criminals work under the name of a front organization called AXJ, or Actions for Justice. They have defrauded many people over the years, but have always been protected from prosecution by the agencies that are using them to infiltrate and gather intelligence on groups that the governments consider subversive, including our own liberty movement. In the process of gathering information on us, these criminals have had license by their controllers to perpetrate fraud and to take advantage of innocent people, including Lavoy Finicum's wife, Jeanette. I will present a lot of evidence in as short a documentary as I can, including evidence of their pedophile network, satanic ritual abuse of children, an international sex trafficking ring, participation in secret societies, money scams, and cooperation with government policing agencies against innocent citizens. As ridiculous as it may sound, I intend to prove to you that these operatives are actually low-level members of the real Illuminati, or at the very least, they think they are. I will show you how the authorities are using AXJ to impersonate members of the Patriot movement, to gain access to private conversations we're having, and to try to divide our community. The enemy is among us, and we need to fight back. Just like the FBI's elite HRT force used well-established tactics to create a militarized ambush zone to conduct an assassination operation against Lavoy, the government is also using well-established tactics to conduct a psychological operation within our own ranks to try to bring our movement down from within. By the time this video is over, you will have seen irrefutable evidence that what I am saying is true. I've also discovered that the AXJ syndicate is protected from criticism by the powers of government. During my research, I discovered several people who have been arrested on bogus charges after trying to mount a public campaign to expose AXJ. It is a very real possibility that I too will be targeted in some way. I have no doubt that AXJ is going to put all of its effort into having this video wiped off the internet, so I encourage as many of you as possible to download and make it or the written transcript available for others. I ask that you set aside time to watch this full video and consider joining with me in taking actions described at the end of the video. I became involved in this whole AXJ thing very reluctantly. Only after I had received repeated emails from people within our own movement expressing anger at Citizens for Constitutional Freedom did I set aside my other projects and begin looking into the matter. As the national director of our activist network, I knew that our organization was not guilty of the things that these people were alleging against us. But as I began to look around, I discovered that two international conmen named John Aster and Eduardo Vallejo, both of whom use the fictitious name John Asturias, are operating a massive scam and are actively creating division and discord among people in our liberty movement. They are using the name of our organization to create misleading Facebook pages and groups. They have also co-opted the name of Lavoy Finicum and created unauthorized Facebook pages that post insulting and tasteless messages about Lavoy while trying to make money off of Lavoy's name. I tend to overlook such things and not get involved in disputes over who gets credit for something or who is allowed to use a certain name. I find most bickering over such issues to be trivial, petty, not worth addressing. I think that we should focus our time on productive activities and not get sidetracked by troublemakers. But a series of revelations brought to my attention regarding Aster, Vallejo, and AXJ have both stunned my conscience and motivated me to speak out on the issue. Many of you are subscribed to John Aster and Ed Vallejo's pages and are connected to them on Facebook through their false identity, John Asturias. Based on the evidence I have uncovered, John Aster lives in Australia and runs the AXJ operations in Europe. Aster not only works with the government agents over there, but he also has pled guilty in court to possessing more than 15,000 images of child pornography on his computer, including images of dead children in sexual situations. Many people before me have stated their belief that John Aster was spared from prison in exchange for his cooperation with law enforcement. Eduardo Vallejo lives in California, and he controls the AXJ operation in the United States. While he has conned several groups in the past, he is presently focusing his efforts within the liberty and militia movements. I will present the statements of dozens of people, along with news articles and other evidence that will allow you to make up your own mind. Whenever I use the name Asturias, I am referring to the fake identity that is shared between John Aster and Ed Vallejo. As you have seen in these screenshots, I made efforts to reach out to Eduardo Vallejo and John Aster to get their side of the story. They responded by blocking me and making foul statements about me in public forums. To you, Eduardo, and you, John, I know that you are watching this. I know that you're going to respond by going on the offensive and attacking my character. But by the end of this video, you are going to know that I am more than capable of standing up to you. In anticipation of your reprisals, I have reserved a wealth of documents and information regarding your various crimes should you choose to fight rather than doing the right thing. And what is the right thing? I expect you to immediately cease all your efforts to steal money from our people. Remove the names of our organizations from your Facebook groups and stop impersonating us. And disassociate AXJ from our movement and leave us in peace. If you refuse to comply with these reasonable requests, this video will be the least of your concerns. The 4 pillars of Citizens for Constitutional Freedom are faith, family, friends, and freedom. AXJ has attacked all of these pillars, and we will not allow your attacks to continue. Now let's begin. First, I'll show you a few Facebook pages in question. This one was originally named Lavoy Finicum. While impersonating Lavoy, Asturias' page misspelled Lavoy's name. He added people as editors to the page without their consent, including one of Lavoy's daughters, Tara. About a month ago, Tara was unhappy with this exploitation of her father's name and posted a message on her profile, which Asturias later added to the controversial page in question. This is what Tara's statement said. This is Tara Tenney speaking, Lavoy's daughter, and I do not know who organized this page, Whoever it is that set this up made me an editor. I assume that he or she is in support of my father's cause. However, I did not set this up, and we have our own page where details of our legal battle and action items for our followers will be posted. Our page is called Lavoy Finicum's Stand for Freedom. Whoever it is that set up this page has that right. I just wish they would not have used my father's name, which has misled many people to think that it was endorsed or created by Lavoy's family, which it was not. After some communication, Asturias refused to remove Lavoy's name from the page, but did change the name from Lavoy Finicum to Robert Lavoy Finicum Supporters. I take issue with Asturias operating this page for two reasons. First, the page is insulting to Lavoy and dishonors his most cherished beliefs about God. Lavoy was a Mormon, as are all the members of his family. Yet John Aster's group is mocking Lavoy's faith. Now, I don't know how others view this, but to me, it is disgraceful to capitalize on Lavoy's name to gain page likes and money while suggesting that his religious faith is sending him to hell. Among the statements made by Asturias' Facebook page about Lavoy's beliefs are these, in which Asturias suggests that Lavoy is going to hell for his Mormon beliefs, misrepresenting Lavoy's true beliefs with false statements, such as Lavoy believing that there is a Mormon god that committed incest with Mary, who was not a virgin at the time. Neither Lavoy nor other Mormons believe such outrageous things, and we know for a fact that Lavoy Finicum trusted in Jesus as his personal Savior. My point is not to start a debate about religion. I only state Lavoy's true belief to you because I find it unconscionable that Asturias' page that is supposed to honor Lavoy is actually suggesting that Lavoy is going to hell for not accepting Jesus Christ. Asturias not only sanctioned these cruel comments on that page, but he shared those comments to some of his other pages. The second reason that I object to Asturias and AXJ's use of Lavoy's name is because they are really only using the name of Lavoy to capitalize on the name to gain as many followers as they can so that they can make money off of Lavoy's name and build up their AXJ network, which is really nothing more than a big money-making scam. But we'll come back to that later in the video. Aster and Vallejo have created hundreds of Facebook pages for AXJ, and that's in addition to the untold numbers of fake personal profiles which they have used to leave supportive comments on their own crooked posts to make it look like they have larger support. As you can see in these screenshots, they use the Lavoy Finicum page to drive people to their AXJ pages. On this screenshot, you can see that they're ordering that more AXJ group links be added to their pages about Lavoy, the Hammonds, and the Bundys. Many of you have reported to me that you have been added as editors on the various AXJ and Patriot pages without your prior consent by Asturias, just like he did with members of the Finicum family. And by the way, after adding Jeanette and other members of the Finicum family as editors without their knowledge or permission, Asturias has been telling people using their status as editors to claim that they are supporting what he's doing, and that's an absolute lie. So if the Patriot movement is so important to Asturias, why is he trying so hard to get people to cross over onto his AXJ pages? It is to get people in front of their AXJ donation buttons. Everywhere you go on AXJ pages and sites, there are requests for donations. I'm going to give you a few real-life examples from true AXJ whistleblowers who have come forward to call the organization out on its scam. First, I'm going to share with you how AXJ used the Hammonds and the Citizens for Constitutional Freedom to make money. And after that, I'm going to play a phone call for you between an undercover whistleblower and John Asturias as he explains how to scam the Finicum family out of donation money. Some of you have seen this flyer. It was put out early on back in January and highly publicized by John Asturias. In the flyer, AXJ falsely claims to be fighting for the release of Dwight and Stephen Hammond. To enable AXJ to wage that legal challenge, they solicited donations to a PayPal account. I was approached by the woman who created this AXJ flyer. She explained to me in detail how Asturias conned her into participating in the scam. To protect her identity, I'm covering her name and her phone number and will refer to her as Mary. Mary was introduced to John Asturias through her prior association with one of AXJ's stooges, Ted Visner, who we'll talk about later. Knowing that Mary was out of work and suffering from a spinal injury, Asturias approached her with offers of money in exchange for doing work for AXJ. The screenshots you're about to see were given to me by Mary herself. Though I have covered her name and face for privacy, Mary knows that it's unlikely that her identity will be able to remain a secret. She will be targeted for retribution by AXJ, but she believes, as true whistleblowers do, that personal sacrifice is the price we sometimes have to pay to help protect other people from the evil of criminals like Eduardo Vallejo, who is the individual using the John Asturias profile in these exchanges. Asturias begins back on December 19, 2015, by taking advantage of Mary's financial situation, by telling her that he has a great idea to create an online store that is designed to, quote, promote handicrafts and makers around the world, and asks Mary if she would like her products to be sold on the new website. She replies, yes, please. But then Asturias makes sure she understands that in exchange for this wonderful privilege, quote, all we ask for AXJ is donations to grow. Mary did not know yet that the store was a complete scam that was only going to make money for AXJ. The fake online store makes money not by selling real products, but by soliciting donations for the operation of the business. Take a look at the products in the AXJ store that Asturias claims to be selling. One of his partners, Marco Apolloni, is the guy who posted these images. A dirty ball cap with the letters AXJ photoshopped on the front. Here is the message next to the picture of the cap. Your contribution will help keep AXJ active and continue development, and AXJ will donate $1 to help children around the world. Order your AXJ cap for Christmas, only $10 plus shipping. I guarantee you that AXJ is not sending money to help children around the world, and these caps don't even exist. Here they are talking about the non-existent line of AXJ beauty products. And here he says that if you pay AXJ money, they will teach you how to be a professional cook.